rainforest of Wytaliba in northeastern New South Wales remains badly scarred by the devastating fires that ripped through this community last November.
Knowing that, there's family members that won't return, or there's people you've known your whole life that won't return, I think that's the hardest. I am currently sitting in the middle of the Wytaliba School Oval with my son and my cat in a cage while my partner looks after our home. I don't know if I just lost my house or not, and I'm kind of struggling to process it.
When 7:30 last spoke to Storm Sparks, she was sheltering with her infant Zeke at an evacuation centre in Glen Innes after escaping the inferno in their car.
Watching the 7:30 report, that makes me cry. I think it's just because you can tell when you look at me in that moment that I'm still processing it. I'm okay with it, but I'm still processing it. And then with every interaction you see, I don't know, I hope you see that I'm sort of coping with it a bit better.
Storm and Zeke were physically unharmed, but her partner Al was badly burnt while attempting to help one of the other residents.
Every night before I go to bed, I have the moment where Al blew me a kiss as I backed down the driveway and he went to try and save George. That will replay in my head every day.
Al wasn't able to save George, who perished in the fire along with one other resident. Storm says months later, both she and now 20-month-old Zeke are still affected.
I've spoken to a couple of psychologists and counsellors and stuff, and it helps. It's just, I guess, coming to terms with the fact that, it'll never be the same. That moment happened and you've got to get past it.
The family is now living in a tent and shipping container on their property, waiting for development approval to start rebuilding.
The hardest part has been waiting on paperwork to come back and soil samples, and then we got a fire inspections. It's clearing trees that you didn't think would need to be cleared, but everything just takes time. So 8 months in, we've got our whole shed, and it's like an IKEA home. It's in a big pile on the ground. So we'll get there.
Of the roughly 100 dwellings that were in Wytaliba, about half were destroyed by the fire that tore through this community. Rebuilding in such a remote area is always difficult, but it's been made more expensive by new fire safety standards. Many residents have decided the cost is simply too high for them to return.
The location generally dictates the type of construction you can use. Depending on how far you are away from the potential risk. So that has a significant bearing on the assessment process and becomes quite complicated.
Just losing our lifestyle and not being able to go back there, that's the biggest loss. All the rest of it is just stuff. I planned on being on Wytaliba till I died. There goes our house and everything we own. Everything's gone.
This is where Martin Tonks watched his house and almost all his belongings burn last November.
That's the direction the fire came from, and everything around it just went. So.
He and his wife barely escaped with their lives.
A roar like jet planes landing. I dream about it sometimes. If I was down there, the first sign of bushfire or something, I'd be just leaving anyway. I'd be just running away. I'd be no way I'd want to go through that again. Yeah, it is going to be a lot of work, but we liked the block. It's a big block.
Martin Tonks won't be moving back to Wytaliba. Instead, he's going to build on this block in Glen Innes.
It's handy having all the sewage and the powers there. I'm just too old to build a house, living in one room tent or a caravan. There'd be a generator carrying water, carrying petrol, carrying fuel for heating. It's just all too much. My health isn't up to it. I'm too old and tired.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the older residents are leaving, but it's actually across the board. It was where they got affected and how they got affected.
Not all residents might be returning permanently, but Storm Spark says Wytaliba will survive.
Wytaliba is going to be a stronger place because of everyone who has chosen to stay. You tell us we can't do something and we're like, oh, watch this. So that's kind of how it's been for 40 odd years. I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.